İngilizce öğrenmenin en hızlı yolu budur arkadaşlar. Yabancı ile oturup konuşacaksınız.
So, what would you recommend to Turkish people who want to learn English because there are so many differences in Turkish and English?
Nasıl İngilizce öğrenebilirim diye bana çok soruyordunuz ve ben her seferinde size konuş, pratik yap diye öğüt veriyordum. Ama İngilizce konuşacak bir ortam bulmakta çok zorlanabilirsiniz. Ben de tamamıyla konuşmaya odaklı Flalingo diye bir platform buldum. Ana dili İngilizce olan kişilerle konuşarak speaking kabiliyetinizi geliştirebiliyorsunuz ve aksanınızı ona göre yontabiliyorsunuz. Eğer korkuyorsanız ya ben ana dili İngilizce olan biriyle konuşamam, İngilizcem o kadar iyi değil diye ana dili Türkçe olan öğretmenler de var, hiç korkmayın. Oxford kaynakları kullanıyorlarmış ama aynı zamanda eğitimin sonunda İngilizce seviyenizi gösteren bir sertifika alıyorsunuz CV'nize koyabileceğiniz. Eğer öylesine bir denemek isterseniz 63 liraya 25 dakikalık bir deneme dersi de sunuyorlarmış. Aynı zamanda bu videoyu yaptığım için firma bana, takipçilerime özel %50 indirim kodu verdi. Nesli 50 koduyla alacağınız paketten cillop gibi %50 indirim alabiliyorsunuz. Bir dilde en önemli şey onu konuşabilmek. Onun için Flalingo'ya ulaştım ve bir deneme dersi aldım. İçeriğini inceledim. Kanadalı Colleen diye çok tatlı bir kadın ve size nasıl geçtiğini göstereceğim şimdi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm very good. Please tell me how to pronounce your name correctly.
My name is Nestle.
Oh, Nestle. Okay.
Yeah, Nestle.
It's very nice to meet you, though. You're from Turkey?
Yeah, I am from Turkey.
May I ask what city, or what area?
It's in Eskişehir, you know?
Oh, the Venice of Turkey.
Oh, you've heard about it. Have you ever visited, Turkey or Eskişehir?
No, but I've had so many Turkish students that I feel like I know the country because they tell me a lot of things about the food, about what their cities are like. So I feel like I've been there even though I haven't been there.
Yeah, a lot of people say that about Turkey. A lot of cultural differences, like backgrounds. It's really good. That's the right way to do it because, I would feel like a guest in someone else's country, so I would feel like I have to behave according to their rules.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I really like Canada because I like the cold climate, the cold weather. You guys have maple syrup, which, I really like maple syrup.
Maple syrup is good, for sure. And so is poutine and Tim Hortons coffee.
Oh, you have special kinds of coffee there?
Tim Horton used to be a Hamilton, Ontario hockey player, and he started a coffee chain, like a chain of coffee shops, and he called them, his name's Tim Horton, so he called them Tim Hortons, and he died, I can't remember exactly, I think he was ill, and he passed away, but Tim Hortons is very famous. They even have Tim Hortons in Delhi, India, and other places in the world. Yeah, it's quite a famous coffee shop. Not as famous as Starbucks, but it tastes better than Starbucks, in my opinion. Yeah.
Oh, I would have to try that for sure. I'll keep it in mind.
Tekrar hatırlatayım, Flalingo'da herhangi bir eğitim paketinden Nesle 50 kodunu kullanarak %50'lik bir indirim sağlayabilirsiniz. Eğer öylesine bir denemek isterseniz 63 liraya 25 dakikalık bir deneme dersi de sunuyorlarmış.
Yeah. Have you been to Canada?
No, but I really want to go to Canada. I actually kind of want to live in Canada, but I don't really do well in cold climates. I'm a sea kind of girl. I have to go to swim, wear tank tops and stuff like that. I really don't know because I actually checked the weather forecast, and the city that I live in right now has a colder weather than Canada, literally. So I guess it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I've heard that central Turkey has really cold weather and even snow in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we do have really warm weather in the summer. You can definitely go swimming. We have beautiful beaches in Ontario, especially Manitoba. So the summer, I wouldn't recommend you go in the winter, but the summer is really beautiful. And so is the fall when the leaves are changing. and maple syrup time in Canada.
Yeah, it's on your country flag, the the leaves.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm hearing perfectly spoken English. To be very honest with you, you have a nice voice. It's quite clear. Maybe there's a couple grammar mistakes that you've made, but certainly nothing major at all. You're definitely an upper intermediate speaker. Very, very good English level.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I've been learning English like all my life, basically. Ever since I was 11 or 12, I actually got into it with video games. I really like playing video games, and there was some stuff, there were things on there that I couldn't really understand. In order to play the game, you have to understand what they're saying. So I just, whipped out a dictionary, and it progressed on from there.
How do you keep the English level up? Like, do you immerse yourself in English during the day, or do you have friends that also speak English that you hang out with and talk to, or how do you keep your level?
Yeah, I'm actually a languager. Like, there's different departments in high school that you can choose, and I chose language, which specializes in English. And from there, I went on to study English language teaching. It's a university program. So I'm really familiar with English. But I've had plenty of friends, like friends from abroad who I've been talking to and I can practice my English with. And I've been abroad a couple of times, so, But most of the media that I consume is like American media and English media. So all the songs that I listen to are in English. English is pretty much integrated with my life. I even think in English.
I have to ask you, though, who are some of your favorite singers? Like, what type of music do you like? Do you like some of the Canadian artists, like The Weeknd? Or
I actually don't. I don't think I know any Canadian artists, really. I don't like most of the singers I know are American. But my Gen Z is going to pop out here, but I really like Melanie Martinez. Have you heard of her?
I have not, but she sounds like Hispanic. She sounds like a Latino singer.
She is of Hispanic descent, but she's American and she makes really good songs. I can't really think of anyone right now, but like everyone I listen to is probably American.
Okay.
That sounds weird right now.
No Justin Bieber for you then? No Justin Bieber for you, or... Yeah,
no.
Brian Adams is probably way
I don't think
before
I've ever liked Justin Bieber. No, like One Direction, Justin Bieber, even in 2012, they just weren't it for me. I didn't really listen to them.
Yeah, well, as you can tell, I'm quite a bit older than you are. I think I fit into what they call the baby boomer generation. So.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's a clash of generations in here, Yeah. People... Like Gen Z is really skeptical of like the boomer generation. I'm sure you've heard of.
No, what?
I'm sure you've heard of something. So tell me about Canada. Like, do you have any customs in Canada that you practice, maybe a holiday? Or let me ask you, like, since you have experience with Turkish people and Turkish students, is there anything that you find about Turkey that's like interesting to you in regards of culture?
I think the most interesting thing that I find with Turkish students is just the love of food that is totally integrated in the hospitality, and also I find Turkish people are very community, they're more broad than just family, although they're family orientated for sure, but I find they also are very welcoming as seeing a community more at large. In Canada, we are a little bit more individualistic for sure. We tend to be more insular into families, more in close friends and co-workers. We're not as so much community oriented, and part of the reason is we're much more mobile, I think, than people in other countries. It's not unusual for people in Canada to move many times or to even have many different jobs in their life. So I think our mobility makes it harder to be part of a community like that still exists in some countries.
I think that's interesting to hear because I heard a lot of stereotypes about Canadian people being like really welcoming and friendly and, you know, apologizing about everything.
Yeah,
so it's interesting to hear that.
Yeah, we do. We say sorry all the time.
Can't even, and I noticed you have a Canadian accent, you know, a boots and sorry.
I
love it. It's so cute.
But we are very welcoming and accepting. It's just we don't have the same sense of community orientation that exists in some countries. Like if you're in Canada and you walk up to somebody and you're lost or you're hurt, somebody is going to help you. In some countries, they might, you know, just ignore you because they're afraid of you or something. But no, in Canada, we are very welcoming because we're so multicultural. We cannot be unwelcoming or judgmental or that because our next door neighbors and our coworkers come from all around the world. We're not more of a one culture like in Japan or in some countries. There's not as much mixture of cultures. In Canada, we're totally multicultural. You can find people from probably every country in the world live in Canada. Probably every country in the world.
But it's really great to hear that because like in Turkey and in other Middle Eastern countries, a lot of people have to seem like they just have the notion that if you're in Europe or someone else, like somewhere else in the world, people just won't help you if you're bleeding out on the side of the street. Like it's a prejudice thing that people have.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee you, I cannot even somebody on the street, living on the street that's homeless or maybe drug addicted, even if they see something happening, and I know this from experience, they will come and get somebody to help you. People in Canada they're kind. I really do believe that they're quite kind and they're helpful right across the board. I think it's just part of the identity of being in Canada. Mm-hmm. I think it's just natural. Like I would be shocked if you were in a street in Canada and all of a sudden you pretended to faint or fall. I guarantee you somebody will come to help you.
Oh, that's really great to hear. Mm-hmm.
But I think also in Turkey, I think also in your country too, you're not going to just let somebody fall and not try to help them.
Definitely not. Yeah. definitely not. Like you said, we have like a lot of, we are really tribalistic when it comes to helping people and hospitality. Like if you were to go visit a Turkish household, they would treat you like a king, or a queen. Like they're just going to stuff you with food and make sure you're well fed and you're going to like gain a few kilograms. Wait, yeah. Do you use the imperial system in Canada or the metric system?
Yeah, we do. Quite a few years ago, we adapted the metric system because the United States, I think, still uses, I don't know, I can't remember the story now, but we use kilograms and centimeters, and yeah, I can't remember why I thought it was something to do with the United States. I'm not exactly sure, so I'll be quiet.
All right. Well,
nothing to do with the United States.
That's good to hear because the imperial system never made sense to me. Like people are just saying, oh, I'm 5'10", and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what that means.
I still use it because of my age, because when I went to school, we were taught with the imperial system. So I still usually say my height or my weight in pounds and feet in inches.
Yeah. Right. And I think because American is really integrated with my English and, my culture now, I actually use it without noticing. I go like, oh, it must be miles long, or I'm 5'9", stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, let me just finish up by asking. So you have a lot of experience with Turkish people and Turkish learners of English, right?
Yeah, I think a fair amount. Yeah, I would say yes.
So what would you recommend to Turkish people who want to learn English? Because there are so many differences in Turkish and English. So how would you recommend that they learn English?
Okay, so basically there's a lot of things that they can do, but it also really depends on the person because everybody is an individual, right? What works for one person might not work for another person. Try as much as possible, immerse yourself in the language. Try to listen to, watch, talk to foreigners, talk to expats when you see them. Just try and make every effort you can to speak and to listen to English.
Right. A lot of people, give up because it's too hard to talk to another person who doesn't understand you. And it's hard for Turkish people to improve their speaking abilities because Turkish and English are phonetically so different. And so maybe they should, try to push themselves and get out of their comfort zone. Oh my God. It's just disaster upon disaster. It's all right. I'm just talking about how cute your accent is. I love the Canadian accent.
Thank you for that. Thank you. And it's been absolutely lovely talking to you. Your English is really so good.
Deneme dersim böyle geçti. Çok tatlı bir kadındı Colin gerçekten. Özellikle o aksanı, sorry demesi yok mu? Ben oldukça memnun kaldım. İngilizce öğrenmenin en hızlı yolu budur arkadaşlar. Yabancı ile oturup konuşacaksınız. Eğer sevdiyseniz Nestle 50 koduyla herhangi bir paketten %50 indirim almayı unutmayın. Ama tam böyle kafanıza yatmadıysa 63 liraya 25 dakikalık bir deneme dersi veriyorlarmış. Onu da bir deneyin bence. And don't forget, anyone can learn English like this. I believe in you.